Imagine standing on a misty riverbank where wild marshes meet untamed forests. This is where Prague's journey begins, not as a city, but as a fortress dream waiting to take shape. The Slavic settlement, 9th to 10th century. In the foggy dawn of the 9th century, a fortified settlement rises on Viserad's rocky outcrop above the Vltava River. Wooden palisades circle crude log cabins where Slavic tribes kindle smoky fires against the morning chill. A simple Romanesque rotunda built from rough-hewn limestone stands as the first stone marker of civilization. The river runs wild and swampy, untouched by human ambition. Textures of raw timber, thatch, mud, and brutal stone define this primitive beginning. A fortress carved from wilderness where survival matters more than beauty. Gothic splendor, 1360s, the era of Charles IV. Fast forward to the 14th century when Charles IV transforms Prague into the Holy Roman Empire's crown jewel. High Gothic architecture explodes across the skyline. Charles Bridge rises from wooden scaffolding spanning the Vltava, while the soaring spires of St. Vitus Cathedral pierce heavenward in perpetual construction. Dark sandstone buildings with sharp vertical lines crowd narrow winding streets where shadows dance. The textures shift dramatically. Weathered sandstone aged by time, wrought iron gates, timber scaffolds stretching toward ambitious heights. The atmosphere turns theatrical. Dramatic twilight illuminated by flickering torchlight, where every corner whispers of medieval grandeur and spiritual aspiration. Imperial alchemy, late 16th century Rudolph II. The Renaissance arrives with Emperor Rudolph II, turning Prague into Europe's capital of mystery and science. Golden Lane's tiny houses shelter alchemists and scholars. Astronomical instruments gleam from tower balconies, while graffito decorations pattern burger house facades. Magic and mathematics intertwine in cabinet curiosities. Brass astrolabes, ancient parchments, painted plaster, and red-tiled roofs create a sensory feast. Warm candlelight flickers across laboratories where Tycho Brahe charts the heavens and Johannes Kepler unlocks planetary secrets. The atmosphere becomes enigmatic, a city balancing on the edge between medieval superstition and scientific enlightenment. Baroque magnificence, 18th century. After devastating fires, Prague rebuilds itself in glorious Baroque extravagance. The completed Charles Bridge now hosts 30 statues of saints gazing upon the river. St. Nicholas Church's massive green copper dome dominates the skyline. Palaces painted in pastel shades, mint green, rose pink, butter yellow line elegant squares. Gold leaf glimmers on altars, marble columns support ornate ceilings, patinated copper roofs age beautifully, and smooth stucco facades gleam. Golden hour light creates theatrical shadows across this architectural stage. The city becomes a monument to Counter-Reformation triumph and aristocratic wealth. Industrial Revolution, late 19th century. The 19th century brings radical transformation. Smoking brick factory chimneys rise beside Gothic towers in strange juxtaposition. Early steam locomotives chug across iron railway bridges spanning the Vltava. Art Nouveau emerges as Prague industrializes. Red brick, cast iron soot, coal and steel define the new aesthetic. Industrial haze mingles with steam energy, creating a steampunk atmosphere where medieval spires compete with industrial progress for dominance of the horizon. First Republic and Cubism, 1920s. The interwar period births Czechoslovakia and unleashes creative genius. Unique Czech Cubist architecture creates geometric facades unlike anything in Europe. Early electric trams rattle through streets where functionalist white villas contrast sharply with ancient neighborhoods. Clean lines challenge old-world disorder. Concrete, geometric plaster, glass, and fresh asphalt signal modernity. The atmosphere turns crisp and intellectual. Bright daylight illuminating a confident young nation embracing avant-garde experimentation. Socialist brutalism, 1970s. The communist normalization era imposes its stark vision. The rocket-like Zizkov television tower pierces the sky. Massive concrete housing blocks, Painlaki, ring the historic center in utilitarian monotony. Prague metro tunnels underground. Raw concrete, gray steel, and aluminum dominate. The atmosphere becomes cold and utilitarian under overcast skies with muted colors, stripping away whimsy in favor of socialist functionality. Postmodern restoration, 1996 to 2000s. Democracy unleashes architectural freedom. The Dancing House, Ginger and Fred. twists its glass and steel form beside Baroque neighbors in playful defiance. Tourists flood cleaned cobblestone streets as restoration scaffolding revives centuries-old facades. Curved glass, polished steel, and restored colored stucco create eclectic harmony. The atmosphere turns dynamic under clear blue skies. A city rediscovering joy after communist gray. Solarpunk Renaissance, 2050. The green eco-future preserves historic spires while wrapping them in vertical gardens. Smart glass domes cover ancient courtyards. Autonomous electric boats glide across crystal-clear Vltava waters. Silent trams powered by renewables whisper through streets. Living vegetation, solar panels, sustainable wood, and transparent bioplastics blend seamlessly. The atmosphere feels fresh, utopian, harmonious. Technology